Hi, this is going to be an update to my last video. I do apologize. I have the dishwasher running. If it's too loud, I'm really sorry. In my last video, I talked about the global food shortage and low-income people trying to get ready, prepare the best they can. Now, I'm going to do one better. I am going to talk about how you can help prepare. And once again, if you're low income or poor, there are various ways you can prepare for this. Now, if you don't have a great deal of money, once again, you will need the support of other people during this global food shortage. Now, I hope it does not happen, but every expert out there is saying that this will happen, including CNN, MSNBC, the White House. They're all saying it's going to happen. So when Joe Biden and the White House and these liberal left news networks are talking about it, it's going to get really bad. Now, there will be a place in this video that will offend some people. You know what? Get over it. If you don't want to watch this video, then don't. That's fine by me. A lot of people had an issue with me saying, don't eat babies, eat Democrat voters because they caused this. Well, here's the thing. The don't eat baby thing came from a response to a video I watched. This was an AOC supporter in one of her town halls where the woman is wearing a t-shirt that says, stop climate change, eat the children. And then out of her own mouth, she said, we need to start eating babies. Now that's where I came up with that. Don't eat babies. I'll tell you why in a little bit. But yes, it's not a good idea to eat babies. If you are forced to eat someone, eat Democrat voters. We could all do without them. I prefer you not have to eat somebody. I prefer you find other methods to survive. But in a global food shortage, who knows what's going to happen? And I have made this point to a few people. Even if you're not willing to eat somebody else to survive, I guarantee there's somebody out there that will be willing to eat you to survive. Alright, now let's get off that topic and let's get on another topic. Poor and low income families, listen up. I understand you're struggling and you're hurting, but you need to have your network or your group already bonded and together. Now, here's how you can help each other. Every time one of you goes to the grocery store, I understand money's very tight. Believe me, I know. But every time you go to the grocery store, think about, what can I buy that will stretch and feed a great deal of people on as little as possible? One thing I came up with for you is spaghetti. Now here's what you do. One person, buy a big pack of spaghetti noodles. Another person in your group, buy 1 or 2 cans of spaghetti sauce. Another person in your group, buy some beans or rice, or even a can of baked beans or something that can go with that. Even a can of fruit. If each person that's in that group just bought 1 or 2 items every time they went to the store, that would build up and add up. But you have to talk to the people in your group and go, okay, look, I'm going to the store. I'm going to buy a large pack of spaghetti noodles and I'm going to put it back. When you go to the store, can you possibly get 1 or 2 cans of spaghetti sauce? See, that way the brunt of the expense is stretched out between everyone. Think about different food items that you can get. Let's say somebody you know has flour in, say, a chest freezer or a refrigerator, or even in a flour bin. A jar. Now, if one person in your group went and bought yeast, and another person went and bought something else that would have to go in there to make bread, then each one of you would be contributing to your survival. Think about what foods you and your group can buy to actually feed everyone on the cheapest amount, and do not rely on just one person. Stretch this out between all of your group or your network of people. Like I said, I don't know how bad things are going to get, but when the White House is saying it's going to get bad, we're going to have food shortages, when liberal leftist news networks have said there's going to be a food shortage, take heed of that and listen. Okay, here's the part that's going to offend some people. So if you get offended really easy, go watch something else or just turn this video off. There's another reason you don't eat babies. Little babies. Like the crazy AOC nut that female at the AOC town hall said to do. That reason is mothers. And you're going to take offense to this. A lot of women will. I apologize if you do. But women with children, babies, that are lactating will 100% be on the top of that list to be fed first. And they're going, well, how come? Because in a situation where food is scarce, in some cases, there will be no drinking water. Guess what? I hate to say it, but you ladies that are like lactating, these people are going to want some of that from you. They're going to want some of that breast milk. And the reason being is because in a situation, they can take a jar of that and trade it off for food. Me personally, I prefer to get mine the old-fashioned way, but however you want to do it is fine. And you're going, well, that's just disgusting. In a situation where people are starving and getting no nutrition or nutrients, a jar of breast milk literally is worth gold. Think about that. You ladies out there that are not hardcore feminist and, you know, I don't want to breastfeed my baby, I've got a bottle feed and all this other stuff. The ladies out there that are actually producing are going to end up being pretty much at the top of the heap, because you can produce something no one can get, and a huge food shortage. And think about fertilizer and everything else that we're going to be missing. That means farmers, ranchers are not going to have the stuff to plow their fields and plant. Ranchers are not going to have the stuff to grow feed for animals. So, women that are producing are going to have a great deal of, I wouldn't say power, but you're going to be treated very well because of what you can do. And that's, you can produce something that can be traded off for food, ammunition, or whatever else. Like I said, it may offend some people, but don't eat the babies, because there's a mother there, and if that's a little baby, most likely that mother is producing and lactating, and you can use her, not in a bad way now, but use her. If you keep her healthy, you can use her to produce something that you can also give to other people, adults and other children alike, to help keep them alive. So yes, women that have babies or that are lactating are going to be treated very well. And if you are lucky enough to have one of those in your group or your network, even if you're having trouble finding food for everyone, as long as you're feeding her and she's willing, make sure she is willing. If we're feeding you, can you give us some breast milk so we can survive? There's a good chance she will do that. And people are probably going, oh, how gross and whatever. You know what? In an emergency or survival situation, that is one of the best things you can do, is have someone that's constantly producing something that you can survive on. Now, it's not the best for an adult, but it will help in a bad situation. Once again, I apologize if this offends anyone, but if things get that bad in this country, you ladies that have babies or that are pregnant and producing, you're going to be treated very, very well, and there's a reason for that. These people that are providing you with food and everything else are going to want something in return. That's your choice. No one should ever force you or try to force you. But understand, if you're not contributing in any other way, they're not going to want you there. Now let's get back to the other topic. Low-income people, get your network and your group together immediately. Talk to other parties in your group, find out how many you're going to have, and say, I will buy spaghetti, you buy spaghetti sauce. I will buy canned fruit, you buy a can of beans. Whatever. Do not try to take this out on your own if you're a low income. Stretch this out between various people. Just make sure you account for feeding everyone in their families. Try to get something that will stretch. A bag of rice, a single bag of rice this big, you know, like 1 pound, that makes quite a bit of food. And if you put something with it, it can feed 7-8 people easily. Just that 1 bag of rice if you put something else with it. So and like I said, this video may offend some people, but honestly, if it comes down to that, where you're basically taking care of a woman for her breast milk, because that's what you need to survive, then this country is in serious trouble. Now, they're talking about gas prices hitting $5 a gallon, and it already is in some states. Some states, they're looking at $8 a gallon. You do what you have to do to survive. Even if you can't afford solar panels, even if you can't afford a chest freezer, spaghetti noodles, things like that do not have to be in a chest freezer. Plus, low-income families can get this at a reasonable price right now. And make sure you talk to other people in your party to help you out. You're on your network, in your group. Do not just take it on yourself. Do not have this entire burden on yourself. My videos are for low income and poor people. My videos are not for somebody that can pick up a phone and order something with a credit card and have it delivered to their house the next day. Rich people will not have to worry about this, but your average person, low income and poor person, will have to worry about this food shortage that they keep talking about is going to hit us. Something else. As much as I like talking about boobs, something else. Go online on YouTube, various other places. Look up how to create a snare or an animal trap. There are various people on YouTube that can show you how to create an animal trap or a snare to catch something with. If possible, download their video where they show you how to do this. Now understand, in a real bad situation, the power may go out, but download this. Have a way to have it backed up so you know how to build a snare. There are some people that will show you how to build a bow. Now, the cheap bows are they're cheap, but they work really well. If you can't afford or don't want a gun, make sure you have some way for defense and some way to hunt. Like I said, this video may upset or offend some people. But come on, let's be honest with ourselves. If the only person there is a woman who's producing breast milk, is she's the only one that you can't find food otherwise, whatever food you do find, every person there is going to say give it to her as long as we can get some. Because they know as long as she stays healthy, they'll get something out of it that they, one, can trade off, two, they can sell, or three, they can drink themselves. And a lot of people are going, oh, that's how gross. You know, there's a saying that every man knows, and probably every woman. And the saying's, what, breastfeeding is good for daddies too. Think about that. Men have no qualms about doing that when a woman's pregnant if they're with them. But if it comes down to it, only you can decide what's right for you. Only you can decide what to put back, and only you can decide if you're going to be in a group or if you're going to be by yourself. If you're by yourself, try to prepare the best you can. If you have the money, great. If you don't have the money, talk to other low-income people and say, look, I'm getting a group of us together for what's coming. They talk about it. And even if we don't use this now, let's say we buy spaghetti noodles, stuff like that. Each one of us has different things. If, for some reason, this global food shortage doesn't hit as bad as they say it does, we already have some food that we can always eat. It's not going to hurt you to have extra food put back. It's not going to hurt you a whole lot if you're only buying one extra thing when you go to the store, but somebody else is buying something to go with that thing. So make sure, if you're in a group, talk to your other people, your other party, the other members of your group, and say, hey, I'm buying this. Can you possibly buy this? And talk to someone else and say, can you possibly buy this? Sooner or later, each one of you is going to have a stockpile of food that will help in a bad situation. Alright, like I said, this video probably offended some people. Honestly, I don't care. Because in a real bad situation, yes, I do not want you eating babies. And yes, if you have to eat somebody else, I'm not saying do. I have brought this up to several people. If it gets that bad to where you have to eat somebody else, it's gotten really bad. And think about it this way. I ask these questions. Do you have food and water put back? Do you have a way to hunt or catch your food or even grow your food? Do you have a way to defend yourself? Because here's the thing. In a really bad situation, I ask everyone, would you be willing to eat someone else for your survival? Most people don't want to respond, but they don't say no, that they won't do it. And remember this, even if your moral compass tells you it's wrong to eat other people, then remember this, even if you won't eat someone else in a really bad situation, most likely they would eat you. So prepare the best you can. Once again, I'm sure this video has insulted somebody or hurt somebody's feelings. Ladies, if you have babies, you can use something to your advantage right there. You don't have to go out and gather food. You don't have to bring in water. You won't have to do anything but basically pump and say, okay, here's my contribution. Alright, that's it. I'm fixing to go. Everyone have a good one. And hopefully everyone makes it through what they say is coming. We have already seen gas prices rise. We've seen food prices rise. We've seen empty shelves. And this is just the beginning, according to the White House and basically every news network out there. So I hope everyone makes it through this. And if this insults you, get the hell over it, because there's a good possibility this will happen. And remember, you know, I have said in my last video, remember this, there's food all around you. There are animals, there's stuff that grows in trees, all kinds of things. But if you're in a city and it gets that bad, the animals in that city are going to be wiped out probably within 3 months. Maybe sooner. Alright, that's it. I'm gone. Everyone have a good day. Bye.